What is up? I am Miguel Antonio, and this is the Live and Create podcast. It's where I interview artists and entrepreneurs about what it means to live a great life and create great things. On this episode, we have Keelan Donovan. He's a touring artist and singer-songwriter signed to the record label Big Yellow Dog. He most recently was nominated for the CMT Music Award for Best Quarantine Video of the Year. He has toured all over the place, 600 shows in 48 different states, 4 different countries, alongside people like the All-American Rejects and Ben Rector and so much more. And he has also found his music featured on the ABC show Nashville. And really, if you just go check out everything else he's doing, he's got music everywhere, doing some killer stuff. We talk about the ideas of embracing your own decisions, having grace with the outcomes. We talk about the word sonder and how it's such a powerful word for those who are trying to create music and create art for the masses. We also dive into a little bit of what it's like to raise kids in the midst of the music industry, and he leaves us with this powerful thought of simply having enough joy that it outlives you. Hope you guys enjoy.
The Live and Create podcast.
Yeah, man, let's you feeling good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's dive in. So
cool.
I am hoping to dive into a whole bunch of stuff. We got about an hour. So many things we can talk to about, like different awards you got like nominated for, the shows that your musics have been on, all these cool things. I hope to dive into some stuff about just being in the music world, but having a family as you're married, have a kid, another kid on the way. But the first thing we got to talk about, man, we got to talk about where in the hell do you buy your shirts at for merch? Because I bought this from you like 5 years ago, and I wear the damn thing like I'm not joking. Like every week,
it looks brand new.
It really is, man. Other than like some pit stains, probably from like going to the gym like yesterday I did.
But you're not kidding. I see you post. I see you post videos in that shirt all the time. I'm like, he's still. It looks so great. Yeah, and it's comfy. I'm sure, right? Still.
Yeah. Oh, super comfortable. But I am curious, like where, because almost every band shirt I've ever bought, they just fall apart after about a few months. That's impressive stuff.
Thank you. I didn't do anything. I just bought them. There's a place in Nashville called Friendly Arctic, I think it's called.
Okay.
Friendly Arctic. Yeah, it's in Nashville, and there's a local t-shirt store, and I just buy the higher quality shirts. I think that's American Apparel or something.
You're like, what's the shirt that will last for at least 5 years? That's the kind of shirt I want.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, on stage, I would always say they're the most comfortable shirt you'll ever wear. And I wear them all the time. I wear my shirts all the time because they're just so, I don't know, they're comfy. They're snug.
You're like, I don't care if you're going to judge me for wearing my own shirt. I'm wearing it. It's nice.
I don't. I bought them.
Like I earned that shit, man.
Yeah, right.
So we originally met, I think we opened for you as you were coming through town.
And, I opened for you, man.
Well, one of those things happened in there, but it's been a minute, and it's been incredible just to see how your career has grown. And now, if I understand it right, any terminology as I dive into, feel free to correct me. But so you have a publishing deal now, right? Is that correct? With Big Yellow Dog.
Big Yellow Dog Music. Yeah.
Now, how long have you been doing that?
I've been there. Yeah, I've been at Big Yellow Dog since 2016, May of 2016. So I'm on my 5th year here.
Right on.
At Big Yellow Dog.
Now, just for a lot of the artists that might be listening, like what were some of the things that led you that kind of opened up the door for that? What are some steps that you felt like you took to help that come about?
Well, I think that the key thing that I did was just tour. I and it sounds counterproductive, but I toured and I booked as many shows as I could, and I feel like it was my intention and my goal to prove to everyone in Nashville, prove to publishers or labels or whatever, that this kid's gonna make it with or without us, and we want to be a part of that. You know,
I love that.
We want to do that, and so yeah, I toured, and then I was playing a show in Nashville, and I think that, or I know that there was an intern from Big Yellow Dog selling my CDs in the back of the show, and she took one and gave it to the publisher, and they signed me. We started writing. I started writing with their writers, and then I got signed to them, and I don't know. It's a great company. It's been a real blessing. I really feel like I lucked out. That's just such a stupid Nashville story. Like an intern was like selling my CDs. I lucked out for sure.
But I love what you said in the beginning, though, is like you wanted to do it in such a way that you didn't even need them. You wanted to create like your own. I hear you saying like you want to create your own brand, whether or not they were going to sign you or not. Is that
for sure?
That how
for
you
sure.
felt?
Yeah. I was young, hungry, and yeah, I didn't see any reason why I couldn't. I don't know.
Now I remember we were talking. I think we were having coffee right before or right after you got signed, and you started writing. And you were explaining like a typical day. I imagine your days are a little different now with COVID, but where you guys, if I remember right, you guys were going in like in the morning, and by the end of the day, you have a fully produced track. Like you started out with nothing, kicking out a fully produced track. Is that what life was like consistently for you once you got signed?
Yeah, going in and writing with producers, Nashville has become such a machine. Like where the if you're not doing that in Nashville, and you're trying to get cuts, and you're trying to get songs on whatever TV shows, and trying to release music of your own, I feel like if you're not doing that and you're in Nashville, it's, I don't know, it's you're not, I don't know, you're not going to happen doing it. I don't know. I mean, it very well could. There's so many different outlets now, but and I think that the industries in Nashville, at least, is starting to maybe shift away from that. But it's just this machine of writers that we go in and you write, and then by the end of the day, like you said, you get a fully produced track, and yeah.
I think that creates in my mind, it created like a great challenge of like, oh, your songwriting can look way different if you really apply yourself, really put yourself in a different environment. And
for sure,
when you started, because I know you had been writing, releasing stuff on your own before this happened, what had to change for you? What were some new tools that you had to pick up to go from solo touring artist who's writing his own material to now doing co-writes and doing this new Nashville machine kind of vibe?
Yeah, I think that the biggest change that I had to do was I had to learn how to write songs that weren't just about me, and although those songs are some of my favorite songs that I've ever written, the ones that very extremely personal, saying I and telling my story and about things that happened in my life, turning that into something more global, where I'm writing with Miguel today, and he has a different perspective. His movie of his life is completely different than mine, and so is everyone else that's listening to this music. So whereas some people could relate with songs that are very personal to me, I think I had to learn that globally you need to be a little bit more like, I guess, vague in your songwriting, or I guess a little bit more, not vague, but
I think like universal in a sense.
Yeah, universal is the word I'm looking for. Yeah.
Because I feel like there's ways to find specificity. I'm not saying that right, but to be specific, yet at the same time make it universal, if that makes any sense.
For sure. Like you can say I was in a car and I took a right,
right.
But if you say I was in my my Jeep Grand Cherokee or whatever, you know what I mean, and say I took a right past the barber, David's barbershop or something, you know what I mean? Like if you put that into a song, that's what I was doing, where I had to learn how to. I don't know. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, it reminds me of what's the song? It's like Driver's License or something right now. Who's the girl who dropped that? And
yeah, it's great.
There's you said like the movie that you're working with, the person's movie of their life, and I felt like I got a glimpse of the movie of her life. But it was done in this way that even though I didn't grow up as a teenage girl, I even found myself in that same story of remembering what it was like to get my driver's license. So it did have a specific scenario, but seemed to open up to where so many people can connect with it. And obviously they are, because I mean, that song's just blowing up everywhere right now. So
Yeah, I think that's what I had to learn how to do, and I don't know if I've, I do it every time I write a song. It's a hard thing to do, to be able to reach that many people in 3.5 minutes.
right.
I don't know. It's a challenge, but it's really exciting. I find it. I don't know, to be able to try and do that every day.
Yeah.
It's an exciting thing to do.
Now, I know you were bouncing back and forth from Texas to Nashville, kind of living both worlds. But now 2020 hit us. We're in 2021 now. How has the pandemic changed the way that you guys are working there, doing your songwriting?
Yeah, the trips to Nashville have kind of been put on pause. But thanks to Zoom, I'm now writing with more people. I'm writing with, people, artists and songwriters in, London and Stockholm and or LA or Nashville.
That's awesome.
It's kind of it's opened up this this door that wasn't there. You know what I mean? That beforehand, or maybe it was there, but no one knew. No one knew. It was this little secret gem, and it's gotten so much better. This Zoom thing, it's just, and it's only going to get better for songwriters. I mean, sharing audio with each other, and so I think the question was, how has the pandemic changed?
Yeah, it changed
songwriting? Is that right?
The songwriting approach that you're doing as a collective with other people.
Yeah, the songs feel different. The songs feel, especially at the beginning of lockdown. I think, like, there's so many people. We're writing about, just getting back together with people. Getting and that was something, that I don't. I don't think definitely wouldn't have happened had this pandemic not have happened.
Because everyone's hanging out with each other. There's not this longing where, like, I look forward to just going and having whiskey at a bar and not having a mask on and being able to chill and watch live music. Like
I can't imagine doing that. I can't imagine, like, that sounds amazing, to give you a hug or to, like, just shake your hand and not have to, like, step back or something. You know what I mean? To, like, feel that.
Like today at the gym, someone went to give me a fist bump and I was like,
yeah,
God, it's still so weird.
How strange. It's like, I don't know, so bizarre. But I also have to say that we had our baby, and then immediately we went on paternity leave, and then immediately went to lockdown. So I feel like my songwriting and my job has changed, both because of the pandemic and because we had the kid right around COVID, and we had Roman right around when COVID hit, and it's forced me to be in this room and learn how to record myself, and how to play piano better, and get better with whatever, effects and stuff, and gear, and which I don't think I would have. I don't think I ever would have done that had I just kept the grind of going back to Nashville, going on the road. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
That makes
Where
sense.
Before you can kind of lean into, oh, there's a producer here, there's an engineer here. They got it. I'll do my artist thing.
Right. And I also think that the pandemic, coupled with my son, has lit this new fire in me, to where it's like, oh, geez, I got to get some stuff going now. I can't.
Like, yes, I will take that extra right. Let's do all of it. Let's do them all.
Yeah. So well, not as much, like, quantity of writes. It's more quality. Every write, everything I do during the day is intentional. I think now that we're all in this mess, not parenthood, the pandemic.
The mess of parenthood.
It is a mess.
I remember thinking how scary it would be. Like, as it started leading up to the lockdown, you could tell things were changing. And then the lockdown hit, and I remember thinking how scary it would be if one of our kids were were younger, or if Jenny was still pregnant with one of them. And
mm-hmm.
was that like a huge worry for you during that season?
That my son would get sick, or
well, whether him being sick or just needing to go into hospital, or debating whether should we go in for a checkup, should we go in for these kind of things?
Sorry, I'm confused by the question.
It's all right.
I don't know why I'm confused by this.
It's all right. I'm probably just not speaking good, but like for you, was there kind of this cloud of like fear going into lockdown and because was Roman born already, or was Rachel still pregnant?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, yeah. So she was born. Roman was born in November of 19. And then I think we went on paternity leave or maternity leave, and she had 12 weeks of it, and I just took that 12 weeks, and then she went back to work. I went back to work for maybe 2 weeks, and then we all got locked down. And then at that point, we're locked down. We're not doing anything. We're not going out really. We were smart, I think. But yes, it was terrifying. It was just the same as anyone else, I feel like.
Definitely. What are some other ways, because you mentioned this idea of now you want the quality of your music to really just like and leveraging your time better, right, as being a new father. What are some other things you feel like stepping into fatherhood has changed for you as an artist or just as a person?
I have I've really leaned into my faith, I think, in the past year. I feel like I grew up Catholic. I grew up, I went to Catholic school my entire life. I went from kindergarten to senior year of high school Catholic schooling, and then I went to college at the University of Maine, and then I transferred to a Christian college. So it's been a huge part of my life, and I think when I graduated from college, I kind of lost myself in that sense a bit, but it's just an hour of meditation for me now. I do it every morning. I try and just wake up and do my thing.
Do you feel like for you, is it more of a centering practice, like prayer and meditation?
Yeah, I think that those two things coupled together, if I don't do it, I feel anxious or angry. I get frustrated easily. Because I feel like I'm missing out on something that I really enjoy.
And what was it about like fatherhood that opened that door for you? Just because you decided you wanted to become more of a centered person, or was it something else?
I think my perspective on a lot of things changed. I think that having a kid, past year, I've really, I don't want to get dark, but I really have put the question in my mind, like, what is the point of all of this? What are we doing? What am I doing on this ball spinning around a big fireball? Like, what am I doing? And I don't know, man.
Was it the beginning of, and I feel like I can relate to you, and because I feel like sometimes I dip almost into like complete nihilism as I reflect on the world and what's going on, like even in myself. Was it getting to that place and then you decided I want to search for something that brings meaning to you, or was it that dark place that the meaning you discovered, if that even makes sense? I don't know if that question even makes sense, but
I think it was a lot of fear based. I think that it's a scary time, and having a kid, I think, like, just heightened that fear for I'm not walking around scared, but it's just all of a sudden, yeah, I got to be an adult. I got to grow up fast here. I can't, I can't.
Like, oh shit, everyone's looking at me. I need to do something. We need to do something
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. So I'm not answering this question right, but I think that having the kid, um, and the pandemic coupled together just changed just my outlook on like what's important,
Right.
yes, I still want to win a Grammy, and yeah, I still want to, have all these, I have these goals that I want to achieve and stuff, but um what am I leaving behind, or what am I teaching my kid, or what am I doing for the world,
Yeah.
with a trophy on a desk. I think that there's so much more to life, and more to my job, and what I can offer.
Mm-hmm. So do you remember the movie Elizabethtown?
I
It's
never
like
saw it.
super old movie. I had never seen it till a few years back. Jenny, my wife for listeners, but
Yeah.
she's like, this is my favorite movie. I can't believe you haven't seen this. We need to watch this. And so we watch it. She falls asleep and it ends at like 2 a.m. And it, like, spoiler alert, it ends with like the funeral of this guy's dad. The son is what's his name? Like Orlando Bloom.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. Anyways, he's speaking at his dad's funeral, and it
Okay.
just messed me up because, as I was sharing with you, I have 4 boys, and
Hmm.
it's like 2 a.m. or 1, 2 a.m, and the movie ends, and I start thinking like, what are my boys going to say when I die?
Yeah.
What are they going to say
Yeah.
about me?
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
what do I leave behind? And I realized, like, for me, one of the biggest things I felt like I could leave behind are my songs and what they would inspire the
Hmm.
world,
Yep.
that hopefully I inspire a good thing in the world.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I'm like imagining all of a sudden my kids driving home from the funeral, listening to my songs. Like, what am I putting in my songs? What does that mean to them? What does it mean to
Dang,
the world
man, you're
that they're
gonna
going
make
to
me
create?
wanna
So,
cry here, dude.
well, dude,
Jeez.
it seriously, it fucked me up. Like, it really did. I went downstairs and started working on a song that night, and it's one I'm still currently working on, trying to formulate as I've gotten some feedback. But I feel like I feel you in that, because that the term legacy, like, what, even these podcasts, like, someone asked me like, why are you doing it? There's a myriad of reasons behind it, but one thing was, it's that same concept, like, what am I going to leave behind for my boys when they
Hmm.
look at that world, and who will they become, is,
Right.
one of the other bigger questions that we wrestle with. As my oldest 16, he's looking at colleges, and he's gonna be out of the house
Wild.
in a year and a half, and I'm like,
Wild.
and it's, yeah, it's, so I feel you, man. It changes the perspective of work and what are you leaving behind, and even down to, I had opportunity to potentially buy into another kind of business, and the more I dove into it, it wasn't music related, it wasn't my passion related, but it was potential for a lot of money, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm tired of being a broke musician. Let's figure
Yeah.
this shit
Right.
out, right?
Right. For
And
sure.
I realized I hated it, and I realized I was slowly becoming a person I didn't want to be because of
Mhm.
being unhappy. And
Right.
then again, what effect, like, it's almost better, like, in my mind, it was like, it's better to go after the joy, to go after the things that I feel like I can impact other people, and maybe not have as much, but leave a better life behind, and a
For
better
sure.
goodwill, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. I think joy. You hit it on the head. I think. I don't know. I feel like if you're able to manifest joy within yourself right now, and um, that that feels like enough to me. There are so many people in this world. Like, if you have a roof over your head, you have a switch that you can turn heat on, switch you can turn AC on. You have more than 75%. I feel like more than 75% of the people in this world
right.
that are, it's how lucky are we that we have that. And if you're able to manifest joy, and to be able to if you have enough left over to spread it to another person, to a friend, to another family member.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the key to, I don't know, life. I don't know, man.
We figured it out. The key to life, my man. Figuring shit out, solving the world's problems. I love it.
You're welcome, folks. Thank you so much for listening.
And then he bows, but no,
my song "Like a Radio" is all. No, just kidding.
I think that's dead on though, and I've had the opportunity now to do a bunch of these interviews, and as we talk about, which we'll get into here in a little bit, like living a great life and creating great things, like as you begin to define these things for yourself, it seems like that's one consistent theme is the joy, the happiness. Like there's a guy named Paul Green, I think it was like episode 3 or something, and we were sitting in his apartment in LA, and he's a struggling comic he's brilliant. He's brilliantly funny, but come to find out, he was a very successful realtor out in Arizona and left all of that behind to move to LA to make it, because he just wasn't finding joy anymore. And he's like,
that's
great. Not enough. Like, stuff some cash away and let me go pursue this dream. And now I see him, like, after that interview, it happened about 2 years ago, I think. And since then, it's been cool just to see like all the other steps he's taken in his own career and grow. And it's like, man, he stepped out and he found joy for himself. And
yeah, that's amazing.
That's big. And I think to me, there is a key component, like you're talking about though. How do you bring that joy to the other people? Like, obviously, as you're fine. Obviously, you're married, you have a kid and another kid on the way, like, what does it look like to bring that joy to the people around you who are closest, first and foremost? Because I've seen that where people are super nice out front, but then they're assholes to the people closest to them. And it's like,
yeah,
let's not let that be an indictment. Like, let's bring joy to the people closest to us and then let that continue just to overflow. I think now I'm just rambling on, but I think
for sure
that continues to grow and grow. So
1,000%. I think that, yeah. Because if you share joy, if I'm able to give my wife happiness, she's going to give it to someone else, and it's an endless domino effect of I don't know, people, we live off each other. We that energy, of happiness and love and all that good stuff.
All the good things, man. You'll go write a song right after this about love and the meaning of life.
All the good things. That's not a bad one. Yeah, right. The meaning of life.
Solved it. The title will be called "Solved It."
Yeah. Unreal.
I love it, man. I love it. So you're doing writes a bunch by Zoom, right? And you, man,
everything's by Zoom right now. Everything they're all, Austin is it's a great music town. I feel like, but even before the pandemic, I don't think there was as much collaboration here as there is in Nashville or Los Angeles or other big music hubs. I feel like Austin's the artists and songwriters here are very precious about their art, and that's amazing. That's a great,
here kind of
deal. Yeah, you know what I mean. And that's what makes Austin great, and the artists that come out of here are so incredible is that they know what they want, And
you think it drives a uniqueness to their art in a way?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, I think that. Look at obviously there's influences that people get inspired by, but the music that's coming out of Austin right now is incredible. The Black Pumas and Gary Clark Jr. and
oh God,
I don't know this. Yeah, it's just
so.
It's crazy. It's like it's so unique, so cool. So
what do you foresee the next step for you personally, like professionally, over this upcoming year, 2021? Do you think you're gonna ride out these Zooms writing, or is life gonna come back to normal for you? You think?
I'm hoping that with the vaccine that life will be heading back into normalcy, some sort of normalcy where I can start playing shows again and go. I miss, man. What is weird about this entire thing is I feel like the reason that we all got into this was because of the brotherhood and the friendship, and not brotherhood, but the friendship that we make with people, and just being able to interact with people, either from a stage or from an audience, and I can't wait to get back into just that entire scene, going to shows and
Right.
and being amazed by my friends and I don't know,
Yeah.
So,
one day it's
but
coming back.
So the question was, where's this
what do you
year
foresee is next for you?
for me?
What do you foresee
Yeah.
next for you professionally? What it'll
Yeah.
look like?
I'm very, very green into this new genre of music that I've been writing. Almost every week I've been writing in the dance world. I've been writing
Really?
like EDM songs. So
That's awesome, man.
It's been really fun. It's been writing with Germans and do I have to tell you a story? I was writing with this guy in Holland, and I said, so what's it like over there? What's the pandemic like? What's going on? And he goes, man, all of the clubs are shut down, so we are forced to go to raves. And I was like, you're forced to go to a rave? I was like, what are you talking about? What are you like? Anyway, that's
going out was not like an option. Like, no, it's happening.
I was like,
this is how we have to do it now.
Like, yeah, right. This is how we have to do it now. Unbelievable. So, I've been dipping my toe into that world. I already started branching into pop, writing pop music and trying to release more pop rock songs and stuff. But with my music, but then I've been writing and it's called top lining over these produced out tracks that DJs are doing, and it's really, really fun. I'm able to do that, the songwriting, almost the acoustic songwriting, acoustic guitar that I've fell in love with as when you met me. I think that you can get away with it in that genre where you write I don't know, just a personal love song, and they can turn it into this massive EDM thing. You know what I mean?
Right. I think about what Avicii did with was it Aloe Black song, Wake Me Up, where it took this acoustic like slow ballad, and then even Ibiza from who did that? It was the writer, what's his name? Posner. Yeah. But who is someone, was it Avicii who made that a dance song too?
Dude, I don't know.
I don't even know, but like I heard it first as a super up tempo dance song.
Yeah, me too.
To go back and hear it as you said Posner. I always said Posner, but Mike Posner, to hear him sing it on acoustic.
Yeah,
right. You're probably right. But I was like, wow, this is a whole different thing, but both worked. And
right.
So that's cool. So you're experimenting kind of in that world, it sounds like.
Yeah, so I've had one song get released by, there's a DJ called Dubs, DVBBS, and another DJ called Sonder. And I just found out what Sonder means. Let's go back to that because I love that word Sonder.
Okay.
But Sonder is those two artists, and then I was the featured artist on the song. It's called Swim, and all it was a piano vocal. And we sent it to them, and then they blew it up into it's a really cool EDM track now. So
that's awesome, man. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
So what'd you learn about Sonder? That's cool word.
Sonder is Sonder is the realization that every person around you has their own story, has like their own thing that they're going home to. You know what I mean?
That's an incredible word.
Yeah. So I was in New York, and you see an old lady carrying her laundry basket across the street. It's like, that woman has had an entire life that I have no idea about, and I never will. And that blows my mind. Sonder. That's Sonder.
That's awesome.
It's just like, I don't know.
And that's a great city for it, man. Because everywhere,
it's
everywhere you look, like, what the hell is that person's story? I just wonder.
It's amazing. Like, where in these huge skyscrapers of buildings, like, someone lives there. Someone's living in that room right there. Someone has hopes and dreams of being, whatever, a doctor or whatever. Maybe they already are. And I don't know. It's amazing.
And that's, like you said, that sounds like even the shift of your own writing as you do a lot of these co-writes is trying to find other people's stories, and how do you tell those stories out there? What does it look 100%. Like for you with your own music? How do you divide your time through that? Or is there even a division at this point?
I feel like they've all kind of melted together, unless it's a very focused write for TV and film where they'll send me an email in the morning with a brief for a TV show, or, hey, Grey's Anatomy is looking for a male vocal of, acoustic, whatever, about trees, or, whatever it is. Like, here are some keywords that you need to use or something, and this is the scene that it is. And so it's very directed at that, but other than that, I'm writing music that I just genuinely love, and cool. that I would release, if it came to that,
Now, any of these songs in the writes, are you able to say like, oh, I'd really like to just write this one? Like, is it pretty open, or release this one under your own like name?
Yeah. I mean, I can do that, but I think that with signing to Big Yellow Dog, it's much more strategic than, just putting out music. There's from their end, it's a business, from their end, from both of our ends, it's a business, but they're the ones paying for a release, they're the ones paying for making that investment in me, so
they're going to find the best way to leverage that, essentially, when you put it out there.
So
like, yes, it is a business. It is a business.
Yeah. So, if I love a song, everyone's got to be on board, I think, at this point, in order for it to be released. And and I'm great with that. That's another thing that I've learned. I think that in the past year, I've had to realize that you have to be okay with your decisions that you make. You made the decision. You made the fucking decision, and there's no going back. Like,
just embrace it.
Yeah, just embrace it and make the best of what ends up happening.
Right.
I feel like for the longest time I've looked back at things and been like, God, if I just, why didn't I wake up early and warm up my voice before I went into that meeting? Or why didn't I whatever, have better style, whatever it's, but you just have to let it go at some point and just be okay with being Keelan and being Miguel. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right. No, I love that, man. I think something I have been chewing on just personally is just this idea of having grace for myself. My self-talk is like, hey, motherfucker, get up and get going. Like, I'm just like, after a while, I'm like, maybe this isn't good. Maybe it's not.
No, that's like, okay. That's okay. I do that when I work out. I'm like, I
guess there's certain contexts, like, keep going.
Quit being a bitch. You can do it.
But I think sometimes that narrative starts to just circle around on like those things. You look back like, ooh, I should have done this, should have done that. And just finding, at least for me, I've been chewing on that. Like, how do I have grace for myself? Even though I want to challenge myself to other things. And maybe it is kind of what you're talking about, of of acceptance? Like, how do you just accept this thing? And
I haven't fully,
keep
and
moving,
I'm not saying
you know?
that I'm not saying I do that every time.
I
Every
fully
day.
expected that you did. So
Yeah. I don't appreciate you lying to my listeners. No,
I feel lied to right now.
no, man.
I'm just kidding. Man.
Every day, I'm struggling with it, with trying to, I don't know, be okay with being myself, being,
Right.
I don't know.
But I think in this industry, the people who ultimately find success, it seems like, are the people who get comfortable in their own skin. And like, this is who I am as an artist, and people even willing to get to a point where you're like, no, that thing isn't for me because I know myself anymore. As opposed to like maybe in the beginning we just say yes and yes and find ourselves like, why the fuck am I here right now? Right.
And I think I've been in that situation in my career where I've ended up in a spot that I didn't want to, I don't know, or necessarily expect to be in, and what was I just going to say? I forget. Ask another question. It gets me off the. No,
another question to keep it going.
Yeah.
Back to you having everything like perfectly locked in on this thing. I don't know. I don't have another question on that one.
Well, no. What were we saying? I think I just lost my train of thought. I had something.
Well, I feel like you were breaking down like the idea of accepting like decisions in the past and making peace with those things.
Right.
And in a way, I heard you saying not beating yourself up about stuff and like, no, this is who I am. And this is part of the story.
Yes. Oh, I was going to say that it's so much easier said than done. You know what I mean? It's a damn near impossible thing to figure who you are. That is so hard. Like, I don't know. What are you talking about? What is this? Is this me? Yeah, I wrote it. I mean, I love it. It's such a hard thing to I don't know, to figure out in your own head is who you are as a person, who you are as an artist.
Right. And it seems like it's always, well, it should be, I think, a constant moving and changing as well. Like we're all, like I look back at songs I wrote a long time ago where I'm like, I don't even believe the shit I was saying in that song, but I can look in that season, it's like, no, this was very real to me at the time.
You ever watched like an old like radio interview or something like from like 5 or 10 years ago or something?
I don't think I really have a lot. Like those are harder. The interviews are harder for me to, even this, it's so painful because I go back and edit all of these and I'm like,
my God,
I hear myself talking. I'm like, geez. And it's like, and that was from last week. So
yes, right. That's amazing. That is so funny, man. Well, yeah, but the college, there's a video on YouTube of me at, I don't even know college, but college, like Kansas State or something. And it was doing a college radio. And like, I just cringe at like, I thought that I knew what I was talking about. And I think that's why I have had marginal success is because at that age, I convinced myself that I knew what I was talking about. And I was so confident, and it's just like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I lied. Yeah. I was lying to myself that I don't know, I had it figured out, and no one does. Still, no one does.
I feel like a lot of the podcasts I listen to of like people who have seen a huge career and then they look back, and a lot of them reference like when I was starting out, I was dumb enough to think that I could make it. And so because of that, it got them through doors that if they didn't think they could, they probably never would have gone that direction. So
that's almost exactly maybe what I was trying to say.
That's the key to success right there. It's just like I don't know, I'm dumb enough to think I can do it. Why don't we do this?
Stupid. Be really dumb.
That'll be the title of the podcast. Be stupid.
Yes, right. Be stupid.
Keelan says.
That's great. It should be. Be dumb. Be stupid.
that would be a really great transition into the more philosophical question of a great life.
Yeah.
Like, if you had to define, well, you do actually, because I'm asking you. So, how would you define living a great life?
Living a great life. I mean, is it cheap if I went back to joy? Went back to
Not at all, man.
living a great life. Yeah, joy, and because when you're gone, it's just memories and stuff, and yeah, I feel like being able to have joy within yourself, and then being able to share it with people after the fact. Take care of yourself, and having, if your joy can outlive you, outlive you, where when you're gone,
like
that's what people remember you. He was so happy. He was full of life, and or he took care of himself, and I don't know. Yeah, having your joy outlive you as a person. So when my kids and my friends and their kids, they when they think of Keelan Donovan, they think of a happy guy who I don't know, was successful because of his joy.
That's awesome, man. That might be my new favorite quote from the podcast at this moment. So have a joy that outlives you. That's huge, man. That's super huge.
That's cool, man. Thanks. I just thought of it. I
just made it up.
It's no big deal.
You just do things like that. That's awesome.
Unbelievable,
man. I can't wait till you get back this direction and buy you some whiskey and keep having these conversations. Yeah. When you think about creating great things, how would you define that right now in your life? Creating great things.
Something that I'm proud of. Something that I don't give a damn if people don't. Not everyone's gonna like your stuff. Like something that you're proud of, that you can put your name on, and I don't know. I have this journal, and something else I've been doing. I've been trying to wake up early, and I write whatever. It's just a grocery list, or just write like a thought of that day, or what I'm doing that day, or just what I'm doing. And then on the other page, I draw a picture, and it sucks. But because I suck at drawing, I'm not good at it. But I'm doing it, and I'm really proud that I'm creating it, and if anyone saw these drawings, it would just be like, this guy's weird. He sucks at, he's not doing the right things. But all that being said, like just being proud of the art and whatever you're creating, be it a latte or a manifesto for some politician. I don't know. Like you just be proud of what you're doing, because not everyone's gonna like it. I don't know. I think does that answer the question? What was?
Yeah. I think that's a great answer, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, dude, thanks for making the time. It went really fast. But
I can't believe we're already over. I could do this for hours.
I know, it's nuts. But yeah, man, I look forward to seeing you live again when.
Dude, it was so great to see. It's so great to see you, man. I miss hanging with you in KC, and I'm sorry about the Chiefs, but they'll be back. They'll be back for sure.
Thank you for listening to the Live and Create podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe and leave a comment or a review.
The Live and Create podcast.